Hey guys, and welcome back to the Accumulation Zone. In today's video we're going to be taking a close look at the 5%ers funding firm, since my prop firm reviews are actually my most requested videos. We started out with future funding firms reviews, but since I'm now also transitioning to CFD funding firms to diversify, I do not just want to be funded with future funding firms, I also want to be or secure some funded capital with CFD funding firms to diversify, also spread the risk in case one of the firm goes down. Definitely make sure to check out my prop firm reviews playlist here on YouTube, where I covered all these different prop firms. So let's jump right into it. Why the 5%ers? Well, I personally signed up with the 5%ers last week because I was looking for one of the OG firms in that industry. I already signed up with Funding Pips. This firm has been founded in 2023, so it's basically brand new. And you could say, well, they don't really know what they're doing, at least if you compare it to a firm that has been established in 2016, like the 5%ers or FTMO that have been founded in 2015. They have been in this game for much longer, and they actually have a solid team behind them. If we go over here to the About section, we can actually click on that and click on About the 5%ers and see the entire team who's behind this company. Because it's an actual company, and it's not just a bunch of 20-year-olds that have a huge following on Twitter starting out their own prop firm. And that's a really big upside to me. I make sure that if I get funded with CFD funding firms, since there are so many different options, that first of all, I want to secure funding with one of the major players. And in my opinion, that's 5%ers and FTMO. What I really like about the 5%ers compared to FTMO is that you have so many different options. You can choose between 3 different programs. The first one would be the one-step hypergrowth program, where you can get paid from the first target and double your account on every milestone. The second option would be the typical high-stakes challenge, the typical 2-step program, where you have to pass phase 1 and phase 2, and then you're a funded trader. And you can scale your account actually at every milestone, which would add up to a total funding of $4 million. And that's really big, just with one funding firm. We're gonna take a look at their scaling plan later on in this video. But before, I want to talk about the third option, which is the bootcamp program, which I think is a really nice addition to just round it up. So we have the one-step program, the 2-step program, and a low-cost program, because you can actually get started on a 100K bootcamp account for only $95. And instead of paying everything up front, you have to pay the majority of, your challenge once you actually passed all the stages. And now let's actually take a closer look at the bootcamp program, because it's really unique. You won't find a similar option with any other of the CFD funding firms out there. So let's take a closer look at that. So you can either choose between a $100,000, $250,000 or $20,000 bootcamp account, and you actually have to go through 3 steps. So let's use the example of the $100,000 account. On your first step, you start with a demo account that's set up at $25,000. You have to reach a profit target of 6%, and you can lose up to 5% of those $100,000. Static drawdown, that's important. If we move on to step 2, so after we achieved our first profit target, we have to do the same thing again, but we start with an initial balance of $50,000. And once we passed step 2, we move on over to step 3, where we have to do exactly the same. Unlimited time, no difference here. So once we pass step 1, step 2 and step 3, so it's actually a 3-step challenge, you become a bootcamp funded trader, and you can actually trade with $100,000 in capital. You get up to 90%, up to 100% profit share within this bootcamp program. And the cool thing is, you don't have to pay $500 up front just to get the 100K challenge account. You only have to pay $95 US dollars. And that's a really great opportunity, especially if you know what you're doing. Yes, it might take you a little bit longer to finish the third step, but well, eventually you pay much less than you would on your regular 100k challenge. So that's pretty cool. And actually, once you're a funded trader with the bootcamp program, you have a profit target of 5% and a max loss of 4%. But the main reason why I signed up for the 100k bootcamp challenge is actually the scaling plan. Because with every 5% that you make in profit, once you're the bootcamp funded trader, you can scale up. So let's actually take the closer look at the scaling plan. Step up every 5% on your account. So traders that have started with a 100k bootcamp account will get a 75-25 payout ratio from the second stage up until 2 million in funding before it is increased. So we get started at the 100k initial capital. With our first 5% that we make, we get our 50-50 payout. So we reset our balance afterwards, and then we immediately rank up to the 125k account, and we continue higher to the 75-25 payout ratio. So then we already get 75% of our profits. And with the next 5% profit target achieved, so once we make 5% of our 125k initial balance, we rank up to the 150k tier. And so on until we reach 200k, and then we actually end up at the 250k account, and this goes all the way down until we reach $4 million in total funding just with this bootcamp program. And that's really, really cool. I've never seen that with any other of the prop firms, at least with the prop firms that have been established in 2016. The only real competition that 5%ers has here is FTMO, founded in 2015. I've already said that before, but they do not have such a cool offer like this, where you can get in at a very low price and you actually only pay the majority of the bootcamp fees at the end once you actually passed all 3 steps and you qualified, and you just really proved it to yourself that you can pass the challenge and pass the test. Let's also take a look at the specifications and rules for the bootcamp program. So with the bootcamp program, a stop loss is required in all position and orders. They just want to teach you the right way of doing things without simply entering a 10-lot trade, seeing how it plays out, basically trying to pass your first step in one trade. The stop loss in any position must not risk more than 2% of the account balance. Opening a position without a stop loss order or risking more than 2% of the account balance in a single position will be considered a risk violation, and any account with more than 5 risk violations will automatically be terminated. You have a 1 to 10 leverage. News trading is allowed, except for bracketing strategies. Holding open trades overnight and over the weekend is also allowed. Accounts without activity for more than 21 consecutive days will be closed, but you can also request. You can simply write the support that you're going on a vacation for more than 21 consecutive days and they will pause the account for you, so that's also really cool. You can have a maximum number of accounts of 3, 1 250k account and 2 100k accounts. And the 3% daily pause applies only to funded accounts. Traders can continue trading the very next day at midnight MT5 server time. The first payout is 14 days after receiving your funded account and every 2 weeks after that. If you actually scroll down here, we can learn a little bit more. For example, can I use expert advisors? And yes, they say yes, you can use any EA you have in your trading account as long as the EA sets a stop loss order in each position and does not copy trades of other person's signals, do tick scalping, perform latency. You know the drill. If you want to learn more about all the rules and if you really consider signing up for the bootcamp program, I really encourage you to do your own research, because that's the only way how you're gonna learn the most, and actually start writing down a list of all the rules so you are aware of it and there are no bad surprises. And before we continue, I would really recommend you guys to check out the spreads of 5%ers, and therefore simply go to their homepage, scroll down, and right here you will find the best spreads in the industry. See for yourself. Simply copy those details, and put them into your MT5, so log in onto the 5% online real server with these login details, then you can test the spreads yourself. I already did a CFD prop firm spread comparison. I think it's really important to know how much spread you have on your most traded pairs and how much commission you actually have to pay. So right here with the 5%ers, we see that for EU, we actually have a 0 pip spread fixed. And on the S&P 500, we usually have a spread between 3.5 to 7. I only saw 7 pips of spread once when I looked at it during the Asia session. I don't trade the Asia session. I mainly only trade the New York session on the S&P 500. And over there, I usually have a fixed spread of 4.5 pips, which is really manageable. But if we compare, for example, the FX commission per lot of 5%ers, which comes in at $4 per lot, to Skilled Funded Trader, where we pay $7 per lot, depending on the broker you choose to sign up with. So that's almost twice as much. And eventually, this could happen to have a bad effect on your challenge. Let's say your profit target is 8%, and you reach that 8%, well, you still have to deduct your commissions. And if your commissions, they tally up, end up netting 2% of your initial account balance, you actually have to reach a profit target of 9 or 10%, depending on how many trades you actually take. So it's really important to take that into consideration, especially, well, that's different for every trader out there and unique to your own system or strategy. So definitely make sure to be aware of that before you sign up with any funding firm, because it has to fit your trading style. If you take 100 of trades per day, then well, I'd say commissions and spread is one of the most important things to you. If you only take 1 or 2 trades per day, I wouldn't say it's that important, but still make sure you're aware of that. Before we end this video, let's also take a look at the 2-step evaluation, a high stake challenge of the 5%ers. Industry standards, 2 steps, 5% max daily loss, unlimited time, maximum loss of 10% static drawdown, a profit target of 8% in step 1, and in step 2 a 5% profit target. This is actually a lower profit target if we compare it to FTMO. With FTMO, you have to reach a 10% profit target. It costs $495, so also $50 cheaper than your FTMO challenge. And once you're funded, you can actually get a refund. The cool thing here is that you can actually get a profit share of up to 100%. What do I mean by that? Well, even on the high stakes challenge, the 5%ers have a very cool scaling plan. So let's say we start on our 100K challenge. We get funded, we made our first 10% profit on our funded account, we request our payout, then we immediately rank up to a $125,000 account. And with every 10% in profit we make, we rank up to the next account size. So then we eventually get up to a 200K or 250K account, and by then we already get a 90% profit split. And once we reach $350,000 in capital, so we have to reach 10% once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So after 7 payouts, you're not just funded on your regular 100K account, you actually scaled up to 3.5 times as much, plus 100% profit split and a $4,000 monthly salary. How cool is that? So it's really worth it to work with the 5%ers together long term. There's so many benefits to their program. And that's already the end of my 5%ers prop firm review. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I also want to give a quick shout out, because yesterday I uploaded this video, The Holy Grail to Understand and Apply ICT Concepts. I think it's a really good video. I put so much effort into creating it, so definitely check that out. And if you want to sign up to my VIP membership and watch me execute my trades daily on my Discord live streams, you can sign up during this month of February and get in at a 50% discount. This is a limited time offer, so make sure to take advantage of it.